Okay, so another one, same kind of deal. All we're trying to figure out is can you get this in standard Cartesian form? So I'm going to use words so that you hear them. So standard Cartesian form just means a plus bi. The reason why that's called that is because then you can graph it, right? So Cartesian means that you're going to be graphing it on the xy axes, even though you can't graph this on the real plane. So the very first thing that you say is, hey, what's my conjugate? So what is the conjugate? These are the questions you should be asking yourself, right? So what is the conjugate of the denominator in this case? Everyone says, yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. So 3 minus I, and then someone put in the chat, Ms. Johnson, don't forget, you're going to multiply the top and the bottom by that. So I go 3 minus I divided by 3 minus I. If you're bothered by that parentheses, it's fine. Okay, so then you're going to do equals. And so I tend to use the box for this. So let me see. Can I use the box for this? Yeah, I'll use the box. So I tend to use the box for this. Some of you are pretty good at keeping all that information in your head. You don't need the box. That's fine. So I'm going to fill out the box. If you haven't done this already, go ahead and start multiplying out. The parts that are tricky, I've noticed, are the parts that you guys have to deal with the I. So whenever you're doing that, walk very carefully around that. So I'm going to do the numerator over here. So this is going to be 3 minus I, right? And over here, I have 3 plus I and 3 minus I. So hopefully my denominator has no i's in it because that's my job. So here I get 3. I get negative 9i. I get negative I. I get 3i squared, right? Which I squared is negative 1. So this is just minus 3. Everybody's okay with that? So then simplifying this, okay, let me get back to my little guy over here. So simplifying this would look like this. So what's 3 minus 3? And you guys are like 0. Oh, okay. And then what's negative I minus 9 i's? What would that be? Yeah, very good. Negative 10 i's. And then I go divided by. Okay, and you're like, hey, Ms. Johnson, I wanted that negative to stay at the top. It really doesn't matter. You can put the negative on the top, in the middle, on the bottom. Normally, we'll see them either in the front or on top. So I'm going to leave them right there. So then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to use another color so I can perhaps, I don't know, orange maybe. I don't know why orange makes sense to me. Come on, buddy. Okay, here we go. So this is 9. This is 3i, which hopefully he's going to cancel. Because if he doesn't cancel, then I didn't do my job. And everyone's like, yay, Miss Johnson, look, he cancels. Yes, that was our job. So then negative I squared. Okay, so pay attention. I'm going to pull this negative down. What does I squared mean? What is I squared defined as? I squared is equal to what? Yeah, very good. Negative 1. Perfect. Okay. So then I'm going to put negative 1. Everybody okay with that? So that's just the number 1. So is that everybody okay with that? Very good. So then these two cancel and we get 9 plus 1. What's 9 plus 1? What's 9 plus 1? Yeah, it's 10. Oh, you do see what you did wrong. Even better. So again, my favorite comment in the chat will always be like, oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay. That is a fabulous comment because number one, it shows me that you're doing the work. You don't have to show me anything. You're doing the work, but even more importantly, you're reflecting back on why your work doesn't look like our work. Okay. So let me see if I did my job. My job was to get rid of the i's in the denominator. I've got no i's in the denominator. So I'm like, woohoo. Okay. But then I have to take a step back and make sure that I'm submitting the best answer. So is there anything else I could do in this problem that would simplify my answer? And someone sees it. Very good. I see the typing happening. Woo, woo. Very good. Yes. Very, very good. A couple people. Very good. So if you don't see it, that's okay. But just start training your eyes to see what you should see here. So what you should see is Miss Johnson, I see a 10 and a 10. So I'm going to divide out here, and I can because they're both factors. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. So my answer is negative I. So that is my final answer, negative I. Negative I is my answer. Okay, so once again, I want you to take a look at this whole thing and figure out what is the part that is confusing you. What is the part? Hey, by the way, what is the part that you got wrong? Which part did you mess up on? Okay, and Ms. Johnson, why are you like saying that we're going to mess up on something? I'm not saying you're going to mess up on anything. I'm just saying which is the first. Where are you gonna? Where's the part that might trip you up during a test? Because if you know where you're going to get tripped up on, then maybe you can walk more carefully around that the next time. I'm just going to say this out loud. If you reflect on what you did wrong, right? That is more powerful than you getting it right the very first time. Okay, because math is not one of the things that you're supposed to do perfectly on the first time. That's a huge misconception that I fight every day. So if this makes sense to you, awesome. Thank you so much for listening.